Hey, how is everybody doing? I know it's late, y'all. I've been busy, busy, busy. But the baptism must go on because people got to get baptized because they just won't do right. They won't do right. So we had to do these late night baptisms. Now, y'all listen. They're gonna be real quick because I'm not gonna be on here long. But anyway, before I get started, thank you to those of you who supported the fashion show. I'll say more about that later on to the ones who didn't support it. But nevertheless, we had a great time. We had a wonderful time. The guys were amazing. They did an awesome job. And I'm just so happy. That idea came to me a couple months ago. I was sitting at the table because stuff is always popping in my head. If you know me, you know this stuff is always popping in my brain. And then I'm like, I think I'm going to try that. So it went really well. We had so much fun. Ask the people who were in the VIP section how much fun they had because they had a lot of surprises because they were VIP. And y'all know Lady J don't put everything out there, but so we saved a few things. So the VIPs were treated very well. But it was fun. So I hope the next time we have an event that, y'all will show up. I'm sorry for the people who paid for tickets and for some reason or another they didn't make it, but it was fun. We had a good time. So anyway, let's get to the baptisms. It's just so much going on. But one of the things that we all know that there was another mass shooting. Like this is, I think they're saying now anytime it's over 3 people being killed, it's going to be called a mass shooting. So I guess in Baltimore we have mass shootings every day because we just had what 7 people I think were shot while I was out this evening. So I guess they can put us on the list for mass shootings every day because we have a lot of mass shootings here all the time. Always got more than 3 people getting shot. So, and that's unfortunate, but it's the truth. So, but there was a mass shooting in Philadelphia, my hometown. And it's really sad. So we went, and the thing about it with these mass shootings, I'm just always wondering. One of the guys was actually already being charged with something and he was out. So like what the heck is going on? Why was he out? Why was he allowed to walk around? Those are kind of questions I think that we have to start asking and start figuring out um, you know, with these I had my notes over here, sorry. You know, because it's just getting out of hand and it's going to continue. I keep saying this every time I report it. I keep saying we're going to have another mass shooting because that's what happens. It's not, I don't even want to say that it's copycat anymore. I think it's also because people are just tired. I'm telling you, like, I really get it. Because AT&T, y'all really working my nerves. I need to baptize AT&T because they really working my nerves. So anyway, let me talk about this mass shooting that happened in Philadelphia. I love Philly. That's my hometown. I love Philly. I'm so sorry. I know exactly where this is at, where the shooting took place. Been there a lot. I know exactly where it's at. So it says at least 17 killed. Um, and this is 62 injured in mass shootings. That's not the one I was looking at. Um, So it's saying the Philadelphia shooting was one of at least 11 across the nation involving 4 or more victims. So it's 4 or more. So whenever there's like 4 or more, they're going to be calling it mass shootings from now on. And they included the one in Tennessee, Texas. They said there was one in Texas, and like I said, in in uh, in Baltimore, there's a shooting, always 3 or 4 people getting shot at a time. So they might as well put us on the list for having mass shootings um, because we always got that going on. So it says 2 people have been arrested in connection with a bloody mass shooting that left 3 dead and at least 11 injured in Philadelphia over the weekend. Listen to this. Rashawn Vareen was busted around 8 p.m. and charged with attempted murder and aggravated assault in connection with Saturday night's mayhem. Karan Garner was also charged with aggravated assault and assault on a law enforcement officer while recovering in the hospital after being shot by police. Authorities believe that the first shot was fired by 34-year-old Gregory Jackson and critically wounded another man. The second gunman managed to return fire, and the two exchanged 17 rounds. Okay, 17 rounds. Like, I need to get, as a matter of fact, we have a show on my station. It's called Let's Get Tactical. I need to talk to those guys because they showed me what an AR-15 looks like, AR-15 rifle, because I don't really know anything about guns. And I was surprised and just telling me about the AR-15 and how AR-15s will, that's not for you to walk around with, they will blow your head off. And that's the one that was used at the elementary school as well. Um, it says uh, two of the both Jackson and the second gunman, they were licensed to carry firearms. The second shooter was not charged because police said he acted in self-defense. And then it's these pictures that I don't really want to show you guys, but it is pictures of just people's bloody clothes, like really graphic pictures that I'm looking at of just the blood from people on the streets. Like, it's unbelievable. These pictures are just wow. Um, and so it says, in addition to Jackson, the other fatal victims of Saturday night shooting were Christopher Minners, who was 22, Alexis Quinn, 27. They were innocent victims. A total of 14 people suffered gunshot wounds. The violence broke out late Saturday on South Street in Philadelphia. And that, like I said, that's my hometown, so I know exactly where South Street is at. Here's the thing. I don't know if anything can be done about these mass shootings. It's getting to the point that I think people are just so frustrated right now. People are tired of everything that's going on. Your electricity is going up. Rent, housing, everything is going up. We were at the gas station, not far from my house, and gas was $5.99. Then we went a few blocks down, and gas was like $5, 5.19, 5.19. And I heard people talking like it's just getting to the point where they're trying to figure out how they're going to get to work. Because some people work a distance, and it's taking a lot now just to fill up your car. So that money is being taken from the money that you would use for your other bills, or maybe buying clothes or something like that. Can't do vacations, and so people are just really struggling right now. And I believe that the pandemic has played a lot into it because people were uh, we were all locked down, and that affected a lot of people mentally. See, I can't. For me, I was out the entire time of the pandemic. I never stayed home. I was out on the street, and the 1 week that I did stay home, I was like, this is not going to work. So I went out and I was just, with the homeless, with this, doing that, doing stories and all kinds of stuff. I did not stay home at all during the pandemic. And for people that stayed home, that were locked down, that couldn't do anything, it has really affected people mentally. And I kept saying that before. If y'all been following me, you remember me saying that this pandemic, COVID, is not going to be, we're not just going to be talking about the effects of COVID, but we're going to be talking about the effects of mental illness, because a lot of people who've never suffered with depression, mental illness, anxiety, or stress, they're going to be dealing with it. And I said that like 2 years ago, and that's what's happening now. And a lot of people, they just can't deal with a lot. They can't. People are at their limit, and we're seeing that with these mass shootings. People are at their limit. They are done. They can't take it anymore. So I want to send out prayers to, again. We seem to be talking about this every week. I want to send out prayers to all of the families because they were young people. All of the families who've lost loved ones again in these mass shootings, and prayers to the ones that are recovering. Because here's the thing that we also need to remember as well: a lot of people who have witnessed the mass shootings, they're going to be suffering even more uh, mental illness issues because they've witnessed all of this. They were a part of it. They were in that moment when everything happened. So I want to send prayers out to them. So this is the next baptism. And that wasn't even a baptism. That was just like, I don't, I would like to baptize them for real so they can get their life straight because these people out here really, they need some love, they need some support, and they need some help. So the other thing I want to talk about, and I talked about this last week, there's a story that's been going on involving Cora Jakes. Cora Jakes is actually one of TD Jakes' daughters, and Cora got a divorce a few months ago. At first, she didn't say why she got the divorce, and and I understand, like, pastors, children, people. That's like the story because, they don't expect you to be out here divorcing and all that kind of stuff, and so I understood. So I was a little sympathetic with her when she was going through it, and they were like, Mister Bishop T.D. Jakes and his wife was asking people, respect her privacy, respect uh, the process that they're going through. Now, what we didn't know is the backstory to all of this. So, the reason Cora got a divorce is because Cora's husband was being charged with sexual abuse, um, having sex with children. Um, let me just read what it says on here so it doesn't sound like I'm saying anything. Um, Cora Jake's former husband, rapper Richard Brandon Coleman, 33, also known by his stage name Ski Ventura, for he was arrested for continuous sexual abuse of a young child or children. This is what they have. The Wayne McCollum Detention Center in Waxahachie, I don't know what this is, Texas, confirmed with the Christian Post on Thursday that Richard Coleman has remained in custody on a $150,000 bond since his arrest on May 4th. Cora Jakes, who announced her divorce in January, got married on June 4th, 2011, and later adopted two children, Amari 13 and Jason 7, during her union with her ex-husband as she struggles with infertility. Now, let me say this. I'm not going to go into the rest of that story about because there's other stuff that's coming out about Cora and this other lady and the children. I'm not going into that. Where I'm going to stop and put a pin in it is these men who will not leave these children alone. Now I don't know what it is, and I do know it's a sickness, it's an illness when you feel like the most vulnerable people, you know, children, that you have to have sex with children or fondle children or uh, do whatever they do to children. A lot of these predators are now online. So watch your children. When your children are playing games and your children are communicating on social media, TikTok, and all these things, watch your children because there are people who are behind the camera who are posing as children and they're talking to your children and they're asking children, hey, what's your name? Oh, my name is John. Well, where do you live at? Oh, I live in California. For real? I live in California too. Which street do you live on? And this is how the conversation goes. And so please don't be so involved in what you're doing that you're not watching what your children are doing because children don't, when they're doing these things, they're not thinking like it could be a predator or somebody not doing what they're supposed to do. So her husband has been charged with. Let me go back to it again. He's been charged with abuse, continuous. He's been charged with continuous sexual abuse of a young child or children. That's what it says in his police report. And I don't understand it. And I think that, you know, these kind of people, um, whatever they need to do to them, do it. Because, hey, Nordia, how are you? Because children do not deserve to be molested. And I hope your children are in bed at this time because it's quarter to 12. They should be. Um, and, being penetrated and that kind of thing. By a grown man. Like, what is wrong with people? And like I said last week, all of these women running around showing everything, exposing everything, and you go mess with a kid. I have no sympathy at all, especially when you admit that that's something that you've done. Now, I will say that it's a sickness. Um, I will say that it's a sickness, and I understand that. And there are people who, um, in their mind, uh, they have in their mind they feel like the kids like it, the kids want it. I'm telling you, just from studying and watching videos with pedophiles and how they act, um, they tell you their thought process and that they look at children, little girls, they look at them like they look at women. And that's why I'm saying, and I'm baptizing these people tonight because I have no sympathy, tolerance, patience, or nothing for men or women who are pedophiles. I don't. Especially when you say that you did it, especially when there's evidence that you've done that. So apparently, Cora Jakes' husband, they found a lot of evidence showing that he's actually been messing with children. Now, the thing that everybody's asking now is, was he messing with his own children? Because he had a son and a daughter that they adopted. Were you messing with them, sir? Like, this is just absolutely ridiculous. You have a wife, a very prominent wife who comes from a very prominent family. I guess that wasn't enough. You were able to adopt two beautiful children. Guess that wasn't enough. You out here messing with kids. Like, it's unreal. So I'm baptizing him tonight. What's his name again? Because he whatever they're going to do with him, I just need them to do it and hurry up and get it over with. Because that just makes no sense to me. Richard Brandon Coleman, I'm baptizing you tonight, sir, because you need to get it together. You were sitting up there with your wife, and this is why I tell people all the time: be careful who you follow. Be careful who your idols are when it comes, especially with the church, because people start idolizing certain people because of who they're. It's a pedigree thing. So she's Bishop T.D. Jakes. Let me slow down, because see this. Woosah, woosah, woosah. Okay, I'm back. She's Bishop T.D. Jakes' daughter. And so just because she's his daughter, she's on a pedestal. She's great. She's gonna have 1 million followers and this and that because she's Cora Jakes. Her sister Sarah Jakes, of course, her husband Torre. Of course, they're gonna have 1 million followers and people running there because they are a part of the Jakes family. I'm not knocking that. Then you have this young man who comes into the family, bringing your foolishness into the family, knowing when you were with Cora that you was messing with children. And knowing that while you were with Cora, you didn't really want to be with Cora, you wanted to be with children. And so I have no tolerance for this man at all. Um, Goodbye. I don't whatever they do to him, it's fine with me because you mess with the most vulnerable creatures on the earth, our children. And if children can't be safe around adults, like, you know, I'm done with that story. Those stories make me sick. And again, being a person who was molested as a child, I just have no tolerance for that. I know how that feels to be molested as a child and not even know about sex. I know what it is to have all different kinds of things done to you, and you're a kid, So I have no tolerance for these people. So whatever they do to him, good night. Whatever you do, I really don't care. Um, the other thing that I wanted to talk about, what did I have in my notes? Let me check my notes real quick. Okay, yeah, because this is a quick baptism tonight. This is not going to be long. So the other thing I want to talk about is when people don't support you. Now, let me say this, and I'm saying it with a smile, a smile, a smile, because I'm gonna tell you that God is just beyond good. Okay, I'm beyond blessed. I'm beyond grateful. Like we just serve an amazing, an amazing God, and so, but I look at people and I'm like, you know, it's you're very comfortable, uh, and I'm not calling no names, but people get very comfortable in asking you to support them in their ventures, asking you to come and do this and do that, sing, speak, videotape. They're very comfortable in doing that, and so when um, and I'm gonna say me, when I have spent probably the last 2 or 3 years, every time somebody called LadyJ, I'm there. I'm like, okay, what time, what date? I'm putting it in my book, in my schedule. Not anymore, especially not in 2022. No, because what I'm learning is that people they want you to support them in what they're doing. But when it's your turn, a lot of times they don't support you. They don't show up. They don't say anything. They don't encourage you. And I'm speaking about it because I'm seeing stuff. You know how people tell you to stay woke? I'm real woke. I've been woke for the past few years. And I think people, maybe they thought I was sleeping. But I'm so woke this year that people are going to get invoices. I'm just going to put it out there. And I'm baptizing all of the people who don't support. You're quick to jump on the bandwagon of can you come? Can you do? Can I use? Can you be there? But when it's your turn to reciprocate, nobody sees you. Nobody hears from you. I'm woke. I'm very woke. And what I want to say to people is that what you have to continue to do is walk in your purpose, walk in your glory, do what you know, do and use the gifts that God has given you, and you will be blessed every single time. I A lot of people don't know that prior to all of this Lady J stuff, uh, you know, I was actually working in the medical field for 25 years. I was out there singing all over the place professionally, and I was an event planner. So events for me are fun. I love planning events. I know how to put them together. I know how to network. I know how to do all of that stuff. So um, I'm going to be doing events this year, and I've been watching for the past, how many events have I done so far? Two, the past two events. I've been taking notes who has not been there and who has not called and said, you know what, wow, I wish I could have been there, but I was doing X, Y, and Z. Even if you do that, I'll give you a little pass. But because people don't have the courtesy to do that, but you are okay with picking up the phone and saying, hey, can you come for me? I don't even know how people do that. I don't understand how you do that, how you're okay with doing that when you don't support other people. And so it comes down to this. I always say to people, always watch because people teach you how to treat them. And so what I'm seeing this year in 2022 is that people are teaching me how to treat them. And you are teaching me that my time, my energy, and what I'm doing is not that important to you. It's really not that important to you. So you're teaching me that since my time and my energy and my presence is not important to you, that I need to back away and I just need to go ahead and do what I'm doing. You get that? I need to just go ahead and do what I'm doing. And I'm good with that. Um, because when you appreciate someone, you show your support, you show your love, even if you just making a phone call to say, how did it go. I appreciate the ones who sent me text messages to say, how did it go. I had to work or I couldn't be there, or even telling the truth, I was tired, I just didn't feel like coming out. I appreciate that. But I'm saying to everybody, don't allow people to continue to use you or continue to pull you in to what they want to do. But when it's your turn, they're not available. So I'm baptizing all of those people tonight. And I'm so good and I'm so comfortable with saying it because I know what I'm doing. I know that the events are going to be fun. I know that just like we did the one on Sunday, I know they're going to be successful. But I still want people to understand that I'm woke and I see you. You have no time to come to my stuff and support what I'm doing. When you call me, I will have time. I will be there to support you, but I'm going to give you an invoice. And so if you and I can't agree on the invoice, then we won't be doing any business because I'm going to treat it like a business and I'm going to be giving out invoices. And so be, um, what's the word I'm looking for? What's the word I'm looking for? Well, I'll skip that point because I just lost my point that quick. But what I want to say to everybody is when you're out here doing stuff, don't be discouraged. Never be discouraged about what you're doing. Never be discouraged when people don't show up, don't support, don't say anything. You be your biggest cheerleader and you cheer yourself on and you make sure that you understand that you've been given such a great gift. Nobody can take it away. So the gift that God has given to you to be able to do certain things, you're not going to fail. And there are going to be haters and there are going to be people who want you to fail. But guess what? You can't. Because when that has been bestowed upon you, there's nothing people can do. All right. Saturday is community church. We're there from 11 to 12:30. We're at 401 North Howard Street here in Baltimore in the Downtown Cultural Arts Center. I hope you can come out. It is not church as usual. Now, let me say this about church. Let me say this about church because I love God and I believe to the fullest that He loves me. He has my best interest at heart. But y'all pastors better wake up and get it together. Cause let me do another baptism real quick before I go. I got a phone call from someone, and they were telling me they were on their way to a funeral. Can you pray for me before I go? Yeah. So I was like, yeah, sure. And what I found out is there was a young lady who, 22 years old, committed suicide. I mean, she meant to kill herself. What she did, she meant to kill herself, and she had gone to her pastor to tell her pastor that she was depressed. And the pastor told her that she had demonic forces on her. Now, let me say this. Because the only one that I believe that had demonic forces at that moment was the pastor. Because you're supposed to be somebody who listens. First of all, you're listening to your parishioners when they call. You should have time. You should take a moment to hear them and advise them. And when somebody tells you that they're depressed or they're feeling suicidal, if you don't know what you're supposed to do, or if you don't know how to handle that situation, refer them to somebody else. This young lady is gone. She has lost her life. She is no longer here for her family to love on, to hug, or anything. And I think that pastors need to get it together, bottom line. Because sometimes I don't know what they're doing. Um, I don't know if they know that Jesus is coming back. I don't even know. I don't know because I'm not seeing what I used to see growing up when it comes to pastors, when it comes to them being a somebody there for their parishioners. So my condolences to that family and to the young lady that passed away. But listen, pastors, please get it together. And I'm starting to believe that some of our pastors need to get some therapy and some help because y'all really lacking in some areas. So I'm doing the community church because I really want people to feel like they have a place to come to, a place where they can um, come and be okay with dealing with themselves. Because what we talk about are real issues and things that people are going to, and it's all about getting your mind together. Because if your mind is not together, nothing about you is going to be okay. And so that's what we're doing at the community church. So again, it's 401 North Howard Street at the the Downtown Cultural Arts Center here in Baltimore. I hope you're able to come out. We do it's live streamed as well for people who don't live in Baltimore. And I hope you're able to come out and join us. Um, that's it for tonight with the baptisms. It was a short baptism. It was quick because it's late. But anyway, again, thank you to those who supported the fashion show Unbroken. It was for men with beards and locks, and it was so much fun. Oh my goodness, it was lots of fun. We got to do that again. So thank you, everybody. Have a great night. Have a good night. My name is Dr. Lady J. Now I'm going to lay my body down, okay? Because when I tell you I am like I'm tired, so I'm getting ready to go lay down. But everybody have a good night and have a good week. Have a good rest of the week. Get ready for Wellness Wednesday because I'll be giving you some tips to stay well on Wellness Wednesday. That's tomorrow. Bye, everybody.